Movement is life. Strength comes by exercise, and activity is the very condition of life. Stagnant pools breed disease, and stagnant bodies breed disease.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Barbara O'Neill, and today we're going to talk about something that's vital for your health and longevity: exercise. If you're looking to live a longer, healthier life, the right exercises can make a significant difference. Did you know that regular physical activity can add years to your life? Studies have shown that just 30 minutes of exercise a day can reduce your risk of chronic diseases by up to 40%. Whether you're new to fitness or looking to enhance your routine, I'll be sharing some simple yet effective exercises that can help you stay active and vibrant as you age. So get ready to move. Let's dive into the exercises that can support a longer, healthier life.
And because activity is not a necessary part of most people's lives, many people are getting sick because their bodies are not moving. A couple of times this week I've referred to the blood as the river of life. It is the river of life because wherever the blood touches, it brings life. It brings nutrition, it brings water, it brings oxygen, and it takes away waste from every single part of the human body to every absolute extremity. One of the problems is when the body's not moving as it should, that river of life doesn't reach the extremities quite like it should. I'm amazed at the amount of people, even young people, tell me they always got cold feet. What does cold feet mean? There's no river of life down there because the river of life is warm. So any part of the body that's cold, it's an indication the river of life's not getting there. And if the river of life is not getting there, death can start to happen in those parts of the body. Early in the week we looked at the kidneys. And we looked at how many people are experiencing cold kidneys because they're not wearing enough clothing in that area. That's when those little nephrons start to die because the river of life is not reaching them. And you know what the farmer does with the little lamb? Puts a little ring, little tight ring around the top of the tail. And it takes, I think, a couple of weeks and the tail falls off. Why does the tail fall off? There's no river of life in the tail anymore. And you talk to any farmer, they say it might sound cruel, but it's actually very kind, because out in the paddocks when the rain comes, and it can get moist under that tail, and maggots can get in and even start eating away parts of the sheep. So losing the little tail is actually a kind act, especially when you've got thousands of sheep. But my illustration is to show you the importance of that river of life. So anything that you can do to ensure a proper delivery of the river of life to every single part of your body means healing to that part of the body, because the blood is the healer. And perfect health requires perfect circulation. Perfect circulation means my toes are as warm as every other part of my body. But what usually happens in the night when you're sleeping, everything slows down a little bit, and we're glad, because as we slow down, that's when the body starts to revive and recharge. But the river of life slows down to a nice quiet pace. So when you wake up in the morning, the blood tends to have pooled in the internal organs, and the best time to exercise is in the morning, because it brings that blood right out to the extremities and basically sets up a pace for your body to run at all through the day. So even if you're going to be sitting most of the day, the fact that you've done an early morning workout means you've actually raised the rate, you've set a pace that the body will run at through the day. For exercise to be a powerful healing remedy, it must be done in the morning and it must be done regularly. This is called frequency. Frequency means done frequently. God designed that this living machinery be in daily activity, and in that activity is its preserving power. For exercise to be a preservative, it must be done frequently. All the experts agree. You won't hear me say that much, but they do agree on one thing. Half an hour's exercise a day will keep the body in good working order. That's your maintenance program.
Exercise is remarkable for its wide-ranging benefits, far beyond just improving physical fitness. Regular activity enhances cardiovascular health by strengthening the heart and improving blood circulation. This not only helps to lower blood pressure, but also reduces the risk of heart disease and stroke. Beyond the heart, exercise plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy weight and combating obesity. By increasing metabolism and burning calories, physical activity helps regulate body weight and fat distribution. Additionally, regular exercise supports muscle and bone health, reducing the risk of osteoporosis and frailty as we age. Weight-bearing exercises such as walking or lifting weights are particularly effective in building bone density and strength. Mental health also sees significant benefits from regular exercise. Physical activity releases endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters, which can help alleviate symptoms of depression and anxiety. Exercise has been shown to improve sleep quality, enhance cognitive function, and boost overall mood. Engaging in physical activity can provide a sense of accomplishment and improve self-esteem, contributing to better emotional well-being. Furthermore, exercise enhances immune system function, making the body more efficient at fighting off illnesses and infections. Regular physical activity has been linked to a reduced incidence of chronic diseases like diabetes and certain types of cancer. It also aids in improving insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, which is crucial for managing and preventing type 2 diabetes.
Half an hour's exercise a day will keep the body in good working order. That's your maintenance dose. 1 hour's exercise a day will reverse major problems. What sort of problems? You name it. Start at the tip of your toe and go up to the tip of your head. And any problems in any area of the body, take a 1 hour exercise a day to get a reversal of major problems. Did you hear about the old Aussie farmer? Happened about 30 years ago. Michael said it was in the news again recently. Been given 6 months to live. I think he was in his late 60s. He had cancer. In his distress, he just put a few belongings into a wheelbarrow and decided to walk. He's going to walk around Australia. And he walked, and he walked, and he walked. It took him 2 years. How long did he have to live? 6 months. When he got back, he felt fantastic. He felt vibrant. His body was not walking like this anymore. It was almost sprinting. And the energy that it took to sprint was less than the energy when he first started out just to walk. Amazing things happen in the body when you start to move it. He saw his wife and he thought, who's this old lady? He was tested, no cancer. Wow, that's cheap medicine, isn't it? One guy said to me, you want to be careful when this gets out, Barbara, there'll be a traffic jam of wheelbarrows. If only. It's one of the cheapest remedies there is. How many hours in a day? 24. It's not much, is it? It's not much at all. I used to think that I didn't need an exercise program because I was busy all day. I'm gardening, I'm running here, doing this. I had 6 kids and then 8 kids, always busy. And it was about 10 years ago, I was asked to go to New Zealand to do a series of lectures. The girl I was staying with, it was out in the country a little bit, she's about 10 years younger than me. She's twice my size. I'm about 48, 50 kilos. She was about 100 kilos. And in the morning, actually before we went to bed, she said, I do a 5K work in the morning. She said, do you want to join me? And I said, love to. I don't have to get the children up and put the washing on and put the breakfast on and all the things that you do when you've got lots of children. So I went on our morning walk. First kilometre was great. Started to come to some hills. I could not keep up with her. I felt very silly. I'm the health teacher. I couldn't keep up with her. And she's carrying 50 kilos that I'm not carrying. And I couldn't keep up with her. It was very embarrassing. I had to stop talking. Breathing like this. Next day I woke up. Oh, she said, want to come this morning? I said, fine. Whew. She had a friend with her this morning. They just were a long way ahead of me. I was struggling, but I just kept going. When I went home, I thought to myself, lesson taken, lesson learnt, I'm going to exercise. Now, how I had to do it was I had to go to bed a little bit earlier. And how do you go to bed a little bit earlier? Well, you don't eat an evening meal. And how do you get away with not eating an evening meal? Well, you have a big lunch and you have a little bit of breakfast. Well, a bigger breakfast, I should say. Can you see where you start? For today, for the running of today, you have to start yesterday. And tomorrow I'm going to show you what part of the brain does that. It's the frontal lobe. That's foresight. You have to start the day before. And so I had to walk at 5:30. It's the only way I could fit it in. 5:30 to 6. Woke all the kids at 6. It was great. I got the breakfast on and just put it on a very low heat. So in Melbourne, I had to walk in the dark. I read this in an old book. In a short while, you will so experience the benefits of pure air and exercise, you would not live without these blessings. Wow, can you see why I memorised it? Just love it. It's actually one of my favourite parts of the day. I'll look forward to it with excitement. Because when I get back, whoa! A friend of mine, young girl, recently told me this. She told me this last week. She said she was going out with a guy. They were having, really enjoying each other's company. And then he said, look, I want a bit of space. And he broke it off. She was devastated. She said to me, I'd go to bed crying, I'd wake up crying, I'd have a shower crying, and I thought I've got to do something. So she put her joggers on and went for a run, 5K run. Halfway through the run, she's feeling so good. You see, feelings went back a bit and decision part of the brain kicked in, and she said, what am I doing? And she could not understand how, at that point, that she was crying all the time, because another part of her brain had kicked in. She got back, gave a little shake and thought, get on with life. It totally changed the way she thought by doing that 5K run.
The impact of regular exercise on mental and physical well-being is profound. Not only does it help in maintaining physical health, but it also plays a crucial role in mental clarity and emotional stability. Regular exercise stimulates the release of endorphins, often referred to as feel-good hormones, which can improve mood and reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. The benefits extend beyond immediate mood improvements. Long-term physical activity can contribute to a more resilient and adaptive mental state. In addition to the mental health benefits, regular exercise can significantly enhance cognitive functions. Studies have shown that physical activity improves memory, learning, and overall brain function. This cognitive boost is attributed to increased blood flow to the brain and the promotion of neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells. For many, integrating exercise into their daily routine can lead to a more balanced and fulfilling life. It can also foster a sense of achievement and well-being as individuals notice their physical and mental progress over time.
Intensity. Intensity is the other part of the formula. This is no gentle stroll. This is hard work. And I think when the farmer with the wheelbarrow came to the hill, there's a bit of hard work there, wasn't there? But notice when you're cycling, notice when you're walking, there are periods of intensity and periods of rest. And the rest is just as important as the intensity. You could call the rest recovery. Rest doesn't mean stopping. Rest means giving the part of your body that you're working out a recovery time. And when you go to the gym, you probably notice there's circuits, because this exercise will work the quads. And then when the quads are starting to scream at you, give me a break, then you'll go on to maybe another one where the quads will get a break and maybe you're doing push-ups on that one. So the quads are getting recovery time. And you'll find cycling, you do it because you're up the hill and then you've got your recovery downhill. You look at children in a playgroup. What do you see? Dart here, running over there, stopping for a little bit, running over here. Have you ever watched them? You watch children, they've got periods of going for it, periods of recovering. Now, they're not choosing that recovery time, that's just what they do. Always watch the kids. How do the kids breathe? With their abdominal muscles. By the way, how do they run? On their toes. On their toes. I've got a friend who's a runner, and he said, I was taught to run like this, you know, heel up. He said, you know what they're saying now? Oh, sorry, that was wrong. You've got to run like the children do. Watch how you run on your toes. Just watch the kids, the way they naturally do it. That's the way to do it. So what is this intensity? It's called interval training. Have you heard of interval training? It was probably in about the 90s, I think. There was a Japanese trainer who got his girls, I think it was figure skating, ready for the Olympic Games. He got them to an incredible fitness, and he did it by this interval training. And what it is, you absolutely go for it for 30 seconds. That's not long, is it? It is when you're going for it. That's all it takes is 30 seconds. Absolutely going for it. And how many people, when the heart rate starts and the respiration increases, they back off? How many people, when they're going up the hill, back off a little bit? Nah, you push yourself up the hill, and when you're going down the hill, that's when you can back off a little bit. It's this interval training. And depending on your fitness, depends how many 30-second blasts you can put in. Half an hour's exercise a day, putting in a 30-second blast, that's not much, is it? That's not much to ask, is it? If there's no hills, you might jump down on the ground and do some 30 seconds push-ups. You tried 30 seconds push-ups, a lot of time push-ups. Can't get down on the ground, do it on a tree. I think everyone can do this. Push-ups on the side. It's actually intensity. You've seen really obese people, 150 kilo, really large. They've done studies on these huge people, and they presume their muscles will be very strong because the muscles are holding all of that weight. But the opposite's true. They found that the muscles are thin and weak and sometimes paper thin in the back here. And this was a real puzzle. It's all to do with the way the body runs. Because the muscles aren't being called into use because the person's not moving. And why don't they move? Because it's too hard, because they're carrying so much weight, and the knees start to crack. Did you know that? Under the weight, the knees start to crack. And they go on their ankles, the ankles start to crack. And so they, you know, it's too hard to exercise. And what happens when they eat, and how many of them are eating, how many Aussies are eating high carb? It all goes to fat. It all goes to fat. And the muscles almost start to sleep, and the muscles start to break down because it's very expensive muscle. Running machinery is the muscle, so it starts to break down. And so what they have found, same as this Japanese trainer found, if you can do a 30 seconds intensity, what it does is it gets inroads of blood into those muscles, wakes them up, gives them a shock, gives them such a shock, they tear. These are called little micro tears. But when the micro tears happen, then the body needs more fuel. And so the person starts to eat more. They're not putting on weight. The fuel's going to the muscles, and the muscles start building.
To dive deeper into interval training, it's essential to know why these short bursts of intense activity are so effective. The combination of high effort periods followed by recovery is designed to boost your cardiovascular fitness and muscle strength. During those intense moments, your body uses anaerobic energy, which improves both endurance and power. Plus, this kind of training can rev up your metabolism, helping you burn more calories even after you've finished your workout. The recovery time is just as important. It gives your body a chance to flush out things like lactic acid, which builds up during hard exercise. This break helps reduce fatigue, so you're ready to tackle the next round. Over time, this cycle of pushing hard and then resting helps your body get better at handling physical stress. Another benefit of interval training is that it keeps things interesting. It breaks up the routine, so you're less likely to get bored with your workouts. Whether you're sprinting, cycling, or doing exercises like burpees, you can mix and match to keep it fresh and suited to your fitness level. The key is to be consistent. By regularly adding interval training into your workouts, along with eating right and getting enough rest, you'll likely see big improvements in your fitness and overall health.
That's why it's very important with your half-hour exercise that you have at least a 3 to 5 minute warm-up. Very important to do that before you shock those. You're going to shock your muscles, but you've got to do a little bit of a warm-up so they know something's coming. And you want that intensity, but you can't go straight into that intensity. You've got to have at least a 3 to a 5 minute warm-up. And I think Howard does that quite well with you, doesn't he? We had another guy do our program, and he was a international competition soccer player when he was young. He was 40 when he came. He said at the age of 26, he noticed that his foot started dragging one day. It was just dragging behind him. And I mean, this is his life. So he went to the doctor and he said, "My foot." And the doctor says, "What do you do?" He says, "I'm an international competition soccer player. I need that foot." The doctor looked at him and he said, "When do you play the game the hardest?" He said, "Well, Saturday afternoon at the game." He said, "All right. Do you push yourself to the absolute limit of human endurance?" And the guy said, "Well, of course we do. We want to win the game." He said, "Is it the one time of the week where you demand from your body the absolute limits of human endurance?" And the guy said, "Well, of course." And the doctor said, "And what do you do after the game?" The guy looked at him. He said, "What do you do? What do you do to your body after the game? Do you take it home and give it a well-earned rest?" And of course we all know what happens Saturday night, don't we? They go out and party. He said, "No, you take your body out after you've pushed it to the absolute limit and you beat it up, don't you?" The guy looked down. Doctor said, "No wonder your foot won't work." And just started writing something. And the guy said, "Well, what'll I do?" He said, "Oh, well, I could inject some cortisone in, might bring it back to life." The guy's beside himself. He said, "Well, what about a personal trainer?" And the doc said, "Oh, yeah, personal trainer might bring it back to life. I'll refer you to a friend of mine." He went to the personal trainer. Personal trainer did exactly the same thing. "And what do you do Saturday afternoon? And what do you do Saturday night?" And the guy's getting a little bit sick of this now. He says, okay, yeah, that's what we do. But he said, "What will I do now?" The personal trainer said, "Swim 40 laps a day, you might save it." And he just walked away. He did. He said, "I saved my foot." It was very good advice, because that foot, it needed a little bit of rest. You know, when someone's got an injury, there needs to be times of rest and times of working it, because you've got to get that blood into it. And that's why you're the guide. If it's a sickening pain, don't do it. If it's a pain of, "Give me a rest soon," you can do it. I think only you know your pain. We all know the sickening pain of don't even think about that. And we all know the pain of, it's like when the massage therapist massages those rock gardens in your shoulders. It's like, "Oh, that's so painful, but please don't stop." It's there's that good pain. And he saved his foot. You see, swimming was excellent advice, because he was really working out. He had to get that human growth hormone released by the intensitive, but he could not do any intensity on that foot. At first, the poor old foot sort of gave a little flip every now and then, but after about a week, the foot started to move a little bit. After another week, the foot started to kick. I think it took about 3 weeks, and that foot was as strong. Wow. When you have an injury, don't cradle it. Don't put it in the nursery. Obviously, it can't quite do what the others can do, but you must move it. You look at any kid that's had a broken bone and got plaster on, and the doctor says you can't walk for 6 weeks. Have a look at the kid at 3 weeks. They're running around the place, dragging that plaster behind them. And notice they recover so much quicker. And I tell you what, if it hurts, they won't do it. And that's the body's sign. Do you know pain's your friend? Pain is there to tell you, don't do that. Or please do that, yeah? It's like when your muscles get very sore on the morning walk, it's the lactic acid. What do? You stop, you look at the view. Maybe you'll start working out the top part of your body while you're resting the sore part. And when the pain goes, keep walking. Because the more oxygen you'll get into your body, the less lactic acid that you will get. So it's very important to keep moving that body. There's the story of, and a guy told me this story, he said, I broke my tibia and my fibula. He said, I was in hospital for 3 months. I said, 3 months? He said, well, the pin and plate didn't quite take, so they actually had to do it again. He said, I came out of that hospital the fittest I've ever been. I said, excuse me? Fittest? Sitting in bed for 3 months? He said, I sat up my whole bed like a gym. He said, every hour, I'm working out. It was probably like walking 7 hours a day. What a great idea. I think if he hadn't been doing that, he might have been in that hospital 5 months. He couldn't work the leg, but he could work every other part of the body, get that blood working at a better rate, which meant more blood was going into that leg.
Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're feeling inspired to incorporate these exercises into your daily routine. Remember, staying active is one of the best things you can do for your health and longevity. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to stay updated on more tips for a healthy lifestyle. I'd love to hear how these exercises work for you, so feel free to share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Keep moving, stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.